The field of education, let alone teaching, is one that has just recently caught my attention and passion. When I first started this program, my head was on a swivel, and my thoughts about teaching were based solely on the ideas of good classroom structure and interesting lectures. I had no idea what I was truly getting myself into. I don't think I ever thought about the possibility of the classroom changing in any type of way from when I was younger. I was convinced that the way that I was going to teach will replicate the ways that I was taught, with probably only a few minor adjustments. This new wave of technology is serious business. When I was in school, having a cell phone was considered cool, yet it wasn't mandatory. Today's students prioritize bringing cell phones to school more than their writing utensils and textbooks. In today's society, our youth's minds are almost completely captured by what we call the World Wide Web and its content. The goal of education in my eyes is to provide the youth with structure through academia on their path to adulthood. It is also to prepare them for society. Learning about how the American school system was shaped during the 19th century was very intriguing to me. It worked mainly because it was structured based on the factory model that the students in that time period would soon enter. The goal of education is now shifting. We are still responsible for getting students ready for society, yet society has changed, and with it also the people have shifted our thinking. Gun is behaviorism, N is constructivism, and higher order thinking both inside and outside of the box. The goal of the teacher now, even with required standards and end-of-year tests, is more so to focus on getting students to raise and expand their levels of thinking. 3 words. Miss Valerie Frizzle. I have come to hold the animated teacher's methods from the books and shows The Magic School Bus in high regard. To me, all teachers must have a little of Miss Frizzle in them. When I think about the Salem College conceptual framework and how it states that it is the teacher's responsibility to create the environment of learning for all students, Miss Frizzle is who comes to mind. Miss Frizzle did a great job in my eyes of creating the environment of learning for all students. Yes, the stories and characters of the Magic School Bus were fictional, but the creativity and imagination that was constantly used cannot be ignored. As mentioned earlier, behaviorism is out. We can't make students pay attention to us. Today, rather, teachers must constantly use varying methods to reach out to students, to keep them engaged, to provide the proper educational tools, and to challenge them to push themselves further than they can think their minds could possibly take them. The lessons, projects, and activities that go into a 21st century classroom should vary. I feel as if students should be very well versed in up-to-date methods, yet they should also be familiar with methods considered vintage, as well if they can be beneficial. I believe a lot of thoughtful group pairings should be done, especially with diverse groups. When these students get into college, if at all, it will be more difficult to stay in their cultural bubbles. I also feel as if the use of technology should be required by both teachers and students. I have heard legends of sites that allow students to turn work into online communities, structured to resemble sites such as Facebook. Whether anyone likes it or not, the digital age is upon us, and it will only grow larger, hopefully for the better. We as teachers must embrace it and get our students to do the same if they already are not. Assessments where students are able to text their answers to certain questions to the teacher should be incorporated. Students are usually itching to use their phones and computers during class, so finding creative ways to incorporate the two in positive ways could be very beneficial to teachers. The classroom environment is something that excites me the most about the possibility of teaching. The great thing about the 19th century learning style that has shaped us all is the level of control that it has placed in the hands of the teacher. I believe classroom structure is essential. When a teacher tells a student to get into groups, take out something to write with, line up to leave the classroom, or anything else, more times than not, the students comply. With this and creative lessons marinated in higher level thinking, the sky is the limit. I don't think students can or should be controlled, but I do believe that individually, each student has a hunger for knowledge that they want to be tapped into. If a classroom is active and engaging, and students choose to be involved rather than forced, more than likely, that classroom environment is a good one. My personal goals are simple. I really just want to integrate and stimulate minds. The person that Christopher Taylor is might have been molded to specifically fit the field of education. The more I buy into it, I start truly believing that this was my calling. I want to help all of my students succeed, even if it is not particularly in my class. I will be a teacher who influences students positively, and I just hope I help them grow. That is why I chose this field. My goal is to teach high school students, and I really want to reach those who are on the brinks of failure or who just need that extra push from someone. My goal is to be that someone for those students.